Welcome to the MMA Meltdown Show. This segment is brought to you by 303 Training Center here in Westminster, Colorado. 303 Training Center is your home for the very best in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, mixed martial arts, and home of the new Reflex Combat Wrestling. Make sure you check them out at 303trainingcenter.com or give them a call at 303-650-4466. Once again, that's 303trainingcenter.com.
Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. You can catch our next guest in the main event in UFC 144, Edgar versus Henderson, live from Japan. Catch that on pay-per-view this Saturday, February 25th, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for you folks here in Colorado. Frankie Edgar, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. How's everything with you?
Oh, it's going great. Just love talking to you guys, and I appreciate the time you guys put aside for us, even though it's this close to your fight. And this is what, your fifth title defense now?
I believe it's the fourth defense.
Fourth defense. And then you're facing 15-2 Ben Henderson, obviously coming off a little impressive streak of his own. But it does seem that every time you defend your title, you know, we hear a lot of talk that it comes down to the differences in sizes between yourself and your opponent. I mean, I agree with it, but do you feel that you're one of the most underrated title holders in the UFC?
I guess you could say so. I don't really pay attention to those, that kind of talk really, but, it comes with time too. The more I hold it, the more respect I'm going to get.
Right. And, I mean, obviously, you hear people talking about your size. You face guys bigger than you all the time. Do you use that as more motivation to get going in that cage, and does it push you a little bit harder than what it normally would?
I don't know if it does. I think that's just kind of the way I approach it. I fight hard no matter what. I guess because I am the smaller guy, I got to fight a little bit harder. So, I've been doing it since day one. I've been fighting this weight class since day one. So maybe it's just kind of ingrained in me now.
Is there any chance, again, you have been running this division for a little bit now, is there any chance in the future or the near future that you would drop down a division and test the waters there?
Yeah, it could be. I'm happy right now where I'm at, but, I can't make 145. So, we'll see if I flirt with that option in the future.
Now, both you and Ben, you have very similar records, but in your respect to your record, do you feel you've consistently faced a higher level opponent than he has?
I don't know, man. The 55-pound division is so stacked that I think everybody's good. I just beat, I guess you could say BJ and Gray, they might be a little bit higher than some of the guys he fought, but it's so close anyway.
And it's not like you faced Gray one time or BJ one time. I mean, these are guys you've had multiple battles with, right?
Yeah, fighting them, back to back, and Gray 3 times. I mean, it definitely helps with this whole process.
And unfortunately, and I'm not even going to say unfortunately because it may be a good thing for you, but Gray's still very much in the picture in terms of that division. How much would you like to see him fight again? Were you kind of hoping that this is just going to be the end of it, or do you expect to see him again in the near future?
Yeah, I'm not really thinking of him right now. I was thinking for such a long time that it was nice to kind of be done with him for a while, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if come somewhere down the road we meet again. But obviously my eyes are on this Saturday.
Right, absolutely. Now, there are several claims, and I think maybe it's just a fan thing, but there's a lot of people out there that claim that you fight to win by points. Did the KO of Maynard put those claims to rest in your opinion?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really pay attention, like I said, to that stuff. But people are gonna say stuff. You're only as good as your last fight. So if just because the last fight I knocked someone out, now people aren't saying that. But if a decision happens again, I'm sure it'll all start up again.
How in terms of intensity of your workouts, obviously you're going to put forth 110% every time you go into the gym or a camp for a fight. Is there any difference in this camp than the Maynard camp?
No, I always train hard, whether it's, this guy or that guy, if you're not putting 110% in, then you're not doing your job. And, you got to pride yourself on your work ethic. And if you want to win, it doesn't matter who it is, you got to put 100% effort.
Does Ben Henderson give you any kind of a different challenges than what you've experienced in the past?
I think every fighter gives you different challenges. Doesn't mean if they're better or worse, if they're just different, and it depends on how you adjust during your camp and prepare for it was what makes a difference.
Right. Now, during an interview, Ben Henderson had said that you leave openings in your game and that your last 2 fights with Gray had exposed several holes. How much time do you actually spend looking at previous fights, looking over film and trying to fix those so-called holes?
It's easy to say I got holes when I got rocked in my last 2 fights. That's kind of, I think, a pretty general statement for someone to make. But, I don't really watch too much tape. I let my coaches do that, and they fix the things they do think we need to fix.
Yeah, and, you mentioned your last 2 fights, and, unfortunately they have started off with you getting rocked a little bit early in that first round. Is there anything you've done to try to improve that and kind of cover up a little bit more, maybe not come out so aggressive?
Yeah, I'm going to always come out aggressive. I think it was just, some technical things I could fix on, but, I think it was also good timing on Gray's hand.
So, and timing is a huge part of it. Ben Henderson is expecting you to try and keep this fight standing up. Do you think he's underestimating your ground game and how good it really is?
Yeah, I don't know if he's underestimating or he's talking or what. But I'm not a guy that just stands up the whole time or ground game the whole time. I'm a mixed martial artist. I like to mix it up, and that's what I'm going to do this fight.
And remember, fans, you can catch Frankie Edgar facing Henderson live from Japan on pay-per-view Saturday, February 25th, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. How do you see this fight going down?
It's hard to say. I'm not a guy that really tries to vision exactly how a fight's going to play out because it could be the total opposite of that. I kind of just go in there and let it fly and make my adjustments when they happen. Nice.
And making the adjustments on the fly is something you do in between rounds, or how important is it for you to be able to hear your corner talking to you in the middle of a round?
Yeah, it could be in between a round, it could be during a round, and it's very important to listen to your corner. I'm very big on that, and it's going to be nice to hear them really well in the Japanese crowd.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy fighting over there. Like always, Frank, I want to thank you for taking the time again, especially as close to we are as your fight. Was there anybody you want to thank, family members, sponsors, friends, teammates?
Yeah, obviously thank my team. I got a nice crew out here in Japan. I just want to, shout them out for making this trip, and they had to make a lot of sacrifices for me. So, them, all my sponsors, hit me up on Twitter @Frankie Edgar.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you, Frankie.
Thank you, man.